Well, that intro was all kinds of broken up in terms of the music. Welcome, everybody, to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Wednesday, June 28th, 2017. I'm Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
Please remember, everybody, that you can help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. In addition, we go live on Facebook Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time. That's 7 p.m. on the West Coast and 10 p.m. on the East Coast. Nathan, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty exhausted.
You want to know something that's confusing me a bit right now? So you know how I need to upgrade my computer so that I can actually do all the shit that we try to do all at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how normally it's my CPU that's maxed out? My graphics card is maxed out right now.
Hey, get wrecked.
I don't know why.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I'm quite confused. But you know what? I'll pretend like I understand and that it makes sense, even though it doesn't.
Oh, no, easily. Oh, shit. I keep knocking stuff everywhere.
Oh, that's water from yesterday. I'll drink it anyway. I realized I didn't get water. I was trying to do research, and god dang, some things that you don't think should be super complicated are super complicated. For instance, Instagram, right? So, Instagram on your iPad or any mobile device, specifically the ones that have a little keyboard, right? Well, all of the tablets that have a keyboard, it puts them in landscape mode where they're sideways, right?
Right.
Instagram does not have a landscape mode. If you turn your phone sideways, it stays portrait. It stays like you're holding it upright. Same with a tablet. In fact, there is not a tablet app for Instagram. It just uses the phone app because those are separate. There's separate apps for most things for if they're on a tablet or if they're on a phone because of the difference between like the screens and stuff like that, right?
Is it really that big of a difference, though?
Well, here's the thing is that you can't post to Instagram from a computer. You have to post from a mobile device. You can view Instagram through a computer, but you cannot post through a computer. So I wanted... Yeah, right? So I was like, I need to do some stuff on Instagram, but I want to do it on my iPad where I have a keyboard. But the keyboard forces the iPad to be sideways, to be landscape. And there's no way to make Instagram be landscape mode at all.
So you can't type anything.
Well, I could, but I would have to sit with my head sideways because Instagram would be displaying sideways.
Oh, because
it won't change its orientation. And there's a bunch of apps that will change it for you, but you're not allowed to post through any of them because Instagram does not allow people to use third-party apps to post. You're only allowed to post through the actual Instagram app. And there is one way that I have found to post through the computer. Well, two ways. I found two ways. One is there is a service called, what is it called? Hooper, I think is what it was called. And Hooper will allow you to schedule and even full-on straight-up post Instagram posts. Like, you're like, I want this picture with this caption and stuff to post on, Thursday, June 29th at 4 p.m. And it'll go, cool, I will do that for you. It is the only app that will do that for you because they are the only ones that will work with Instagram's API. Because all of the other ones are against Instagram rules, which means you can get your account banned. But it's $16 a month, and I'm like, I'm not going to give you $16 a month just so I can post on Instagram on a schedule. I feel like there should be a way to do that anyway. And the only other option, that's the only way to do scheduled post. There's lots of like Instagram scheduled things. They don't post for you. They send you reminders of like, hey, you said you wanted to post this thing on Thursday at 4 p.m. Here's your reminder. You should post that. It's like, no, I just want you to post it. Yeah, Instagram won't let us do that. You have to go pay for Hooper. Alternative.
Are they owned by Instagram?
No, and I'm not sure how that works. But they have a whole bunch of things all over the place about how they're the only one that doesn't break Instagram's terms of service, right? So I was like, okay, if I can't make it work on my iPad and I can't make it and I don't want to pay for Hooper, what other option do I have? I was like, okay, there's no way to get scheduled posts without paying for Hooper. All right.
Right.
So can I just work on Instagram on my computer somehow? Yes. But here's how you have to do it. You have to download an emulator to run a fake mobile phone on your computer to download the Instagram app so that Instagram believes that your computer is a phone, and then you have to operate through that emulator so that it'll function.
Damn, that sounds like what everyone was doing when Pokemon Go initially came out to spoof shit.
Yeah, but I don't feel like you should have to do that for fucking Instagram.
Yeah, you don't. There's also another promotion that I actually used one for. Hearthstone had a promotion specifically for a single type of galaxy, where if you played on that galaxy, you would get like 3 free packs. And so people started like spoofing like crazy.
I believe it, but like all I wanted to do was to schedule Instagram posts so I could say, all right, I would like this to go live at 3 o'clock tomorrow. I feel like it baffles me that is not an easier thing to do. Like, these people that have like 10 posts a day that are all like professional posts because they make money for being popular on Instagram, I cannot believe for a second that they do that themselves. Like, you schedule that. That's how you plan shit. You can schedule posts on YouTube.
Or you can hire people to do that.
I guess, but I don't feel like you should have to do that. I feel like that should just be a function that is available to you.
You know what I feel like we should have that should just be available to us? Healthcare.
I was like, healthcare, fair rent prices, food.
I feel like Instagram is probably the least of our problems in this.
Right, but I got a what is it, like a bug in my ear or something like that? I don't know. There's a turn of phrase for it that I'm not thinking of. Like
it's a bug up your ass, right?
Sure, maybe, I don't know. And I was like, I have these plans. I know what I want to do. I need to get on this and this and this and this and this to help like jumpstart the show some more, so we can get some more attention and followers and stuff like that. And then I was like, all right, I just need to do this, and I'm going to do this and this and this and this. But all I need to do is I need to be able to access Instagram with a keyboard, whether it's the keyboard on my iPad or the keyboard on my computer, and I need to be able to schedule posts. Nope.
Not for you.
And I was like, wow, fuck all of you. You all suck. Why? This should not have been that Twitter? There's shitloads of them for Twitter. Fucking nothing for Instagram. Like, you want to fucking schedule and send out posts on Twitter? Twitter doesn't naturally have that function, but there's like 20 things that'll do it for you. Instagram said, fuck you. No one's allowed in your account but you.
That's because everyone knows Instagram's only for booty pics.
I don't care, okay? If it brings more attention to the show, I don't care.
How many viewers are we getting from Instagram?
Well, considering we haven't posted in a while, not many. And I was like, because I was having problems with how I wanted to conduct it, and then I figured out how I wanted to do it. Can't do it that way, because Instagram said, fuck you.
Oh, sucks to suck. You know?
Yeah, I'm probably just going to download it. It's called like BlueStacks or something like that to emulate a phone, so that I can just emulate a phone and run it through there so that it's not such a pain in my ass.
Makes sense.
Even though it's a giant pain in my ass.
Mm-hmm. I would love to start posting booty pics, Zach, but my booty is non-existent, so what's that?
So yeah, otherwise, maybe I'll just give you a job.
Oh, man, like I've been asking for a while.
I have a plan for you, sir, and we'll discuss it later.
Yeah.
Anywho, so, yeah. Should we actually talk about news now that I'm done ranting?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Let's get to the first one. 10. All right. I hit the right button. Sweet. Every single building tested after the Grenfell Tower, 120 in total, have failed fire safety checks.
This is submitted by Silvoen to Our World News.
So, specifically, one of the first things that they've been checking is on all of these towers in multiple sections of the city. They've been checking the cladding, because the cladding was the main reason that the Grenfell Tower fire was such a disaster, because it spread like it was made out of friggin', I don't know, flash paper. And they've checked 120 buildings, all of which have had a 100% failure rate.
They've only checked 120.
So far, I mean, it's only been like a week and a half since.
Well,
the fire.
the way the title of the article was typed, it sounded like, just 120 out of X amount. I didn't know that they only have done 120.
They have only done 120 of which have had a 100% fire failure rate.
So that's a lot of buildings.
Yeah, basically every single building has failed.
And only, what, 80 plus people had to die because of it?
Well, see, I've not seen what the updated numbers are. I mean, we talked about them a while ago. I can see if they show up real quick. Grenfell Tower loss of life. That should pull something up. Because 8 hours ago, the death toll may not be known for quite some time. Yeah, so the number that is currently counted as dead is 80. But they said that it might take until the end of the year or longer to have a complete number of how many people died due to how unsafe the tower is and actually trying to sort through it because some bodies were extremely burned.
Shit, going in there is probably going to suck like balls.
So, yeah, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They do know that...
So that just means there's probably bodies still sitting in that tower.
Oh, most likely. Almost assuredly. I mean, there was 129 apartments in the tower. They have found survivors from 106 of those apartments, and there are 23 others that they have not found a single survivor from.
Fuck, that's a lot of apartments.
So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
I hope all of these buildings get put up to code for fire safety, because that's a huge number.
Well, and that's one of the things that is now being addressed by Parliament, is this is a very large concern because, I mean, it only takes a faulty toaster to set the fire up, and then if these buildings literally go up like a piece of tissue paper...
All of the surrounding buildings will start going up too.
Chain reaction.
You'll just have the Great London Fire, you know?
Now I'm just thinking of Helsing.
That's a good show.
It is. It's a very good show.
9.
Jason Chaffetz. Members of Congress should get $30,000 a year to help them pay rent.
Well, this guy can shove off. Submitted by Josie A3672 not the Onion.
This is the same guy, by the way. Let me give you this quick reminder. This is the same guy that said that people could afford health care if they just stopped getting a new phone. Same dude. So currently, if you are curious as to what they make, the annual congressional salary, the base pay that Congress members get, is $174,000 a year.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
He wants $2,500 a month housing allowance to go to members of Congress to help them pay for housing and rent, especially while they're in session. Because Washington, D.C. does have one of the highest housing costs in America.
Sure, yeah.
That said,
Don't they already get money for flying places anyways?
Yes. So the average home price in Washington, D.C. is $471,000. Average cost of rent is $2,127. Now, it's high compared to most places in America. It is several $100s less than what he is requesting. Also, in addition to that, they took a look at most of, specifically this person, to Chavetz's income, essentially, because they have to report that, right? They have to say how much money they have, where it goes, etc., as part of being a public official. So he has a 30-year mortgage in Provo with a 4.5% interest rate, and that would cost right around $3,100. And that's 21% of his monthly salary. That is less than what the housing to income ratio is expected, in which they expect you to pay 25 to 30% of your income to pay for where you live, right?
Whoa, it's supposed to be 25 to 30?
Yes, it is supposed to be 25 to 30.
It's not supposed to be 75%?
No, it's not,
Shit.
Nathan. I know.
Me and most Americans really need to fucking step up our game and stop eating fucking avocado toast.
No, you're right. According to a survey, it's not a survey, it was according to a study in 2015, right under 12 million Americans were considered severely rent burdened, which means that they are spending 50% or more of their income on housing.
Yeah, this is bullshit. This guy is a piece of shit, and you should stop fucking talking.
Yeah, well, he first, in some cases, will stop talking. He is stepping down from his position on June 30th.
Oh, thank God.
But he's going to be a contributor on Fox News.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't watch Fox News, so, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at least he won't be a GOP representative anymore, which means that it'll be much more centralized sources where his words are being spread around.
I absolutely would love a $2,500 stipend or check every fucking month.
Hell,
for my
I'd fucking love a $500 check every month.
I would love a $100 check to help me with anything.
Food?
I would love a $100 check for food specifically.
Yeah.
Wait, food stamps.
Do you qualify?
I don't think so, because of my state job.
You're also single, which means that it's a lot harder for you to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I fucking still haven't paid off any of my fucking medical bills. I'm supposed to be paying $150 a month starting last month. I haven't paid the $300 that I still, owe for this month.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, at least. So, Nathan, when you move it in?
More like I'm going to move in the lower 48 with my uncle, because rent down there in Iowa with my uncle is like $150.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, you make a lot less down there, but, I mean, it would probably still work out better.
But if I'm paying only $150...
Yeah, like I said, it would probably still work out better. The ratio is not equal up here as it is to most other places.
Oh, man, I really have to stop smoking weed.
8.
Developer Abhishek Singh built the entire first level of Super Mario Bros. In augmented reality.
This was submitted by submitted by not a username to our Futurology. I hate you, Michael.
I'm sorry. I try to get them, but I mean, sometimes they just slip through. So this actually links to a YouTube video. What this is this gentleman has a virtual reality helmet on his head. Okay, and the helmet has a camera on it that shows you what's in front of you. So it kind of acts like a like really cool goggles.
Like Google Glass.
Yeah, like Google Glass, except really crazy Google Glass. And then it creates essentially an image also, which is the first level of Super Mario Brothers, which you physically walk and jump through.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's a good. It just shows what you can do with augmented reality. One of the other cool things.
Goomba, jump on him! Jump on him!
One of the other things we've seen with augmented reality, there are places around the world now that are augmented reality theme parks, essentially. They take you into a small room and you set up you get your helmet and stuff on, and then they walk you into a room, and the room is just like, to normal eyes, is just like regular gray walls and stuff like that. But they've programmed the helmet to put textures and stuff on those walls.
Fucking, alright, spoiler alert. This guy is walking around these warp pipes. Fuck this guy. I want to see him jump over him.
Well, I mean, it's a start, dude. It's a good start.
These fucking Goombas have to walk in a fucking line. Why can't he? Like, seriously.
Because they're programmed to walk in a straight line, and he's not.
God, this is bullshit. Mario never had free will.
No, he didn't. He was always just doing what we told him to.
Uh-oh, there's a hole. What's down the hole? Holy shit.
7.
Don't fall.
Mayors of 7,400 cities vow to meet Obama's climate commitments.
This was submitted by Tragic Donut to our Futurology.
So, the United States government under Donald Trump has decided to pull out of the Paris Agreement, but several cities around the world have not. This is mayors, per this article's reference, from America, the UK, and other places. Other places. 7,400 cities around the world have vowed that they will still try to meet the Paris Accord agreements by reducing emissions and trying to prevent climate change as it is currently happening. A few of the leaders of this, from America anyway, are places such as San Francisco, Atlanta, and New York. They all had a meetup at what was called the Global Covenant of Mayors. To discuss,
is that where all of the mayors get together?
I guess, to discuss how they're going to meet these goals. One of the nice things that this article does reveal is that apparently our goal of a 26% reduction in emissions, which I don't think is good enough, but either way, a 26% reduction of emissions by 2025, we are already halfway there.
Hey, we're at 12%?
Well, at least 13.
Did you say 25?
26.
Okay, so we're at like 13%.
I imagine that with all of the technology we've talked about recently, about all of these developments between like solar panel roofs and solar roads and pressurized sidewalks and all of this new technology, once all of that gets implemented, it'll start the ball rolling very quickly. Just that technology wasn't worked on soon enough, so it needs to be perfected before it can be implemented, and hopefully it gets implemented soon enough.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. 100%. I am all for fucking clean, renewable energies. I posted a couple memes the other day on my Facebook about clean renewable energies and stuff, and then people I didn't even fucking know whatsoever who were related friends from other people started just like going off on me about how unreliable fucking all of this renewable energy sources is compared to how reliable like coal and fucking natural gas is. And I mean, I understand what he's saying, because he's saying
the sun sets, wind dies, and water doesn't always flow or whatever.
Right, exactly. But at the same time, we don't have anywhere near the amount of infrastructure we would want to put in for us to be 100% run off of it.
Well, and
we would have to have it running for a while in order to collect a decent amount of water. That's why, or a decent amount of energy. That's why I'm saying we need to build a giant fucking like station out in the ocean where there's a powerful current, and you put a fucking water wheel in that current, and you're fucking gold.
Well, the other problem that we're having is energy storage, because the idea is what you'd want is like when it's windy, you generate as much energy as you can off of it and store it for when it's not windy.
Right.
But energy storage is difficult. But at the same time, I feel like if you just have multiple sources, if you have geothermal energy, if you have hydro energy, if you have wind and you have solar, one of those will be working all the time.
Right. You just get fucking one of them will always be working, and then you can supplement the deficit off of it with battery powers and generators that you use using backed up energy that you've created from just doing it. Well, and there's definitely gonna be days where you're gonna have an abundance, and then there's gonna be days where you don't have any.
Yeah, and I mean, when I went on vacation last year to California, we landed in LAX and drove out of LAX to where to 29 Palms, where Jennifer's brother was at, right? And right outside of Los Angeles is a massive wind farm. Huge. It's a huge wind farm. Really cool, because there's tons and tons of windmills all over the place, right?
Right. But it's so ugly.
No, it looked fine. It didn't matter. But the thing was that was the wind farm for Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's part of what powers Los Angeles. And they had so many of them not turning. And the reason why is because they don't have a way to effectively store the energy. The windmills are only unlocked and have their blades set in a fashion that will cause them to turn to generate energy equivalent to demand. So they probably had like 500 windmills out there, and I shit you not, only like 80 of them were turning.
I don't see why we can't just build a giant ass fucking battery.
Well, it's not necessarily about size. It's about effectiveness and degradation. Like, you have to make sure that the battery doesn't degrade and collapse after a while. You also don't want it to be extremely dangerous, because like you could build a really big lithium battery, but lithium batteries catch fire and explode. So
fair, they do.
It's not necessarily.
They make like, instead of making one giant ass battery, you fill an assload of AA's.
Well, actually, instead, what they are looking at doing is, we talked about it a couple of months ago, I think it is now, about the dude who originally invented the battery and the lithium battery has now invented a glass battery that doesn't...
Oh, yeah, remember that. That thing's fucking amazing.
Yeah, and it doesn't have any of the problems that lithium batteries do, and it's more effective and holds more energy. So once that gets around, if we can really develop that in a good way, then boom, we're done. We got it.
I got in a fight with an internet fight with a guy like a month ago about lithium, because he was talking about how everyone complains about how natural gas and coal is like harvesting it is ruining our planet, yet we don't complain about lithium mines. But like the picture that he posted was a copper mine. And lithium mines, yes, do produce pollution, not nearly as much as fracking. It doesn't cause, your water to catch fire when you turn it on.
Yeah, well, and the other problem with fracking is that fracking is really, really bad for the environment because of how it's conducted.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I kept giving him these like facts and showing him these websites and everything, and he just kept calling it fake news.
Yeah, that's how those arguments go, friend.
It's like arguing with a fucking wall.
Well,
I will gladly admit that my views are wrong on combustible sources like natural gas and oil if you can fucking prove it to me.
Well, and it's one of the... I have a friend who I'm going to tag in the comments right now just to draw her attention, even though she's probably asleep because it's like 11 o'clock there. I have a friend who I disagree with all the time, okay? Her name is Ashley Brewer, and I adore her. She is a wonderful person, but we disagree on damn near everything. And, but the thing is that while we disagree on almost everything, we are very good friends and appreciate each other for the people we are. And so we will have legitimate conversations on very completely separate sides of most issues. Like, she is very Republican. I am not. She voted for Donald Trump. I did not. But I had several friends that were like, yeah, Trump, Trump, Trump. And a couple of them were that way of like, you're fake news. You don't matter. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Whereas I had multiple conversations with Ashley and they were all really good and productive because it was like, I'm not here to shit on your opinion. I'm not here to shit on your view. I just want to discuss our opposing views. And it's one of the reasons that I have such mad respect for her because she is very, very passionate about the things that she discusses and thinks and feels and talks about. But she is willing to not be a garbage person when it comes to talking about them. It's not a matter of, I am right, you are wrong. It is a matter of, this is how I think, and this is how you think, and let's discuss the differences between those. And it's one of the reasons that I have so much gratitude for her being my friend, because she's one of the few people that exist in my life that I can have that conversation with, because most of them are the experience like you just described, which is, you know, you're wrong, I don't care what you say, I don't care what facts you present, it's all wrong. And
see, and then I'm sorry, with Sarah here, Sarah says agree to disagree is always the motto.
No,
and
I
feel like that's an awful motto because it's basically an easy way to get out of an argument, or not an argument, a debate even.
Yeah, I agree. Agree to disagree is one of the worst things that I have like ever heard said. It's like
if we're talking about something like this, don't just blow me off by saying agree to disagree. You should actually consider my viewpoints just like I'm considering your viewpoints, and so that we can all progress forward in humanity.
Like, I literally feel like agree to disagree is like, you're wrong, but I'm tired of trying to tell you you're wrong, so I'm just going to stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so, I mean, I understand why people use it, right? And if you want to use it, go ahead. But it's not something I agree with.
I also don't feel like it makes sense. Like, there are a lot of times that I will jokingly say, it makes sense if you don't think about it. That is one of my favorite lines to say because it's just fun. If you just think about the application of it makes sense if you don't think about it. And that's kind of how I feel about agree to disagree. Is like, we can agree that we are never going to look at things the same way. It's like, I'm not trying to look at things the same way as you, and I'm not trying to get you to look at things the same way as me. I just want to understand your side and you to understand my side. It's not to say that one side is completely right and one side is completely wrong. That's not how the world works. The world is not black and white. Like, it doesn't function that way. There is very rarely a yes or no answer to most questions. That's just it. That's not how this works.
There are a couple, don't get me wrong, like,
sure.
Is sarin gas good to use against your own people?
No.
No. Not okay.
Unless they're zombies, then, you know, maybe think about it.
I don't know if sarin gas, it's a nerve gas. I don't know if it'll affect zombies.
Probably not, but yeah.
I don't know if they have nerves like that.
Sarah asks, what if you use it for now and say, let me think about what you said and do research? The problem is most people won't do that. Like, no. There is, like, in some conversations, there is one person that is willing to do that of like, can we return to this conversation later? You know, maybe there's some facts that I don't have or you don't have and we should look into it further and we can come back to this topic later. That's a very mature adult thing to do, and it's something that like me and Ashley do quite often is, here's my side, here's your side. Okay, I didn't know that and you didn't know this, blah, 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 blah. We'll talk about this another time, and whether we talk about it again doesn't matter. The fact is that we gain something out of the conversation, but it's only a gain because we are both willing to do that. Whereas,
meanwhile, agree to disagree is completely a dropper.
Yeah, you're just like, I don't want to talk about this with you anymore. I'm done, and walk away. And so the majority of the time, there may be one person that's willing to say, let me think about it, let me do some research, and we can talk about it again later. But if both people aren't willing to do that, it's a very moot offer.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely very moot.
So, but either way, well, we've been hammering on that for a while. Shall we move on to something else, sir?
Yes.
6,
What? Oh, God, dang, it didn't copy over. Either way, I'm going to read it anyway. Newly placed Ten Commandments statue at Arkansas State Capitol destroyed by car.
This is submitted by Shinran Shonen to R News.
So there was a huge debate about this new monument or statue, whatever you want to call it, that was going to be placed at the Little Rock, Arkansas, which is the state capital, at their Capitol building, which was this massive stone tablet that had the 10 Commandments on it. And a lot of people were like, that you're supposed to have the separation of church and state, and you're putting the 10, commandments on your state building. I don't know if that's okay. Well, they put it up anyway because whatever, people can do whatever the hell they want, I guess. And what happened is there was this dude who was friggin' filming a live video on his phone and just drove straight into it.
This is not the first time he's done this.
Nope. He did
This is
something.
the second time he's done something like. Actually, was it another 10 Commandments thing?
Well, yes, it was a Ten Commandments monument in Oklahoma, and that was in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2015, he was he was trying to claim that he was on a psychotic episode, inspired by the Dracula film, and that Michael Jackson's spirit was living inside meat.
I'm done. I'll see you later.
Yeah, this guy's just crazy. But either way, he destroyed state property. There doesn't seem to be any malicious intent behind it. I mean, maybe there is. He destroyed 2 Ten Commandment statues in a matter of 3 years, but there isn't evidence that he's like down with religion or anything like that. Just more along the lines of, yeah.
Separation of church and state, like it should be.
Well, it's not even that. He didn't even claim that there should be a separation of church and state. He just happened to destroy 2 Ten Commandment statues that were on state property.
I don't know if it just happened if it's 2. Sure, maybe 1, yeah. Oh, man, that's really weird. That crazy guy really just destroyed that 10 Commandment statue. The second one, you gotta sit there and think. This guy's probably doing this on purpose.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably deliberately picking those statues out.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, yeah. Stop it, guy. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know, man. Maybe he's the hero we need.
I do believe there should be a separation of church and state, and I believe people should be open to practice their religion and however they want, as long as it doesn't lead to the harm of others. But I do not believe that this is the proper way to address that issue.
I don't know.
No,
I'm kidding. Yeah, no, this is definitely not the proper way.
No, don't do that. Stop it.
5,
Paddington Bear author Michael Bond dies at age 91.
This is submitted by Whale Ears to our books.
So, Michael Bond, author of Paddington Bear. I hope you know what Paddington Bear is. If not, Google it, because you probably do know what it is and just don't realize it.
Didn't they make it in a movie?
I don't know.
I want to say they did.
But he has passed away at the age 91. He died in his home after a short illness. The illness is not what killed him, but it probably weakened him to a state that he just passed away.
It was in 2014.
Oh, very well then. People I know that I haven't talked to in a long time are joining the chat, like Ty and Robert. Hi, guys. Haven't seen you in years. Welcome.
Is it because you tagged Ashley?
I don't think so. I don't think they know her. She used to live up here and then moved to elsewhere and not to Oklahoma. And there are people that I knew from school in Oklahoma. Either way, he made it to 91 at least. At least it's sad because he did bring so much to the world in terms of the Paddington Bear series. But at the same time, when we were in 2016, death season, when everyone was passing away between the ages of 50 to 69, this doesn't feel nearly as bad. You got to live a very full
this guy's
life.
Fucking 90-something. 96?
So, Nathan, I have a question for you on that note. What do you think is the age at which it doesn't feel as bad that someone has passed away? Because like, you know, like Rickman, he passed away at 69. That's not okay. Prince died in his 50s. Not okay. David Bowie was 69. Not okay. At what age is it okay?
I want to say late 80s, like 86 to, you know, after.
Well, I will say the average lifespan for males is 82 and for females is 84.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I wasn't far off.
No, and that's just average. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, that's when they should. That's just where the average lies. But at what point do you go, dang, he still had lots of life left to go? All right, good job, guy. You made it, you know.
No, yeah, no, this is, I mean, it's not great, but people pass, and this guy had lived a long life.
I think just 80 plus is about where it's like, all right. Like, you're still not ever going to be happy about someone passing away unless, you know, you have some sort of, you know, conflict with that person. You're like, yeah, bitch, get out of here. But otherwise, like, I think once they pass 80, you're like, all right. You know, I don't feel like you were taken too soon at that point.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, no.
I say as I'm grimly aware that my grandmother is like 83.
Yeah, same with my great-grandmother.
84? I don't know.
Actually, I don't know how old my grandmother would be.
Oh, well. Moving right along then, sir. Moving past death and to the possible death of something else, and that's net neutrality. More than 40 ISPs across the country tell Chairman Pai to not repeal network neutrality and maintain Title II enforcement.
This was submitted by Specs to Our Technology.
So, one of the things that Chairman Pai said is that he had been told by 22 of the smaller ISPs, he does not provide those names, that they wanted Title II to be removed. And he recently had an open letter mailed to him with 40 ISPs signing it that said, please do not repeal Title II. It is important to fair competitive nature of the ISP service.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're curious why that would be bad, first off, if you are just coming up to speed, net neutrality is under attack. Chairman Pai of the FCC wants to remove Title II, and here's some of the things that would be concerned. One of the concerns we talked about before is it would allow internet service providers to throttle or just completely block access to particular sections of the internet. So this would include like competitors' websites or people that may or may not have paid for access to their service. For instance, like Hulu could make a deal with Comcast that says we get full open speed to everyone. And if Netflix doesn't sign that deal, then Netflix gets throttled to where maybe you can't even watch it effectively. And that is protected to where they can't do that under Title II. Some of the other things that are protected under Title II, which is why ISPs want them to retain the net neutrality enforcement, is such things as like poll access. So we've talked before about ISPs fighting with one another over the telephone poles, allowed to put their cables on it, right? Title II says everyone has access to the poles. You're not allowed to say that someone can't put their pole up, put their line up on the pole.
They can't pitch their pole, you know?
Hey, that's terrible. Also, it says that they have a legal right to privacy when using broadband communications. Now, that's already taken a beating because of the rules that were repealed back in March. Because, you know, they said that, you know, ISPs are allowed to sell information to whoever they want, as long as it's still anonymous. Other things is like, currently, broadband providers have to interconnect with other broadband providers. It means to get the best service possible for somebody, you have to connect your service to other people's services so that things still work the way that they're supposed to. If this is repealed, Section 251 of the Communications Act would no longer be in effect, which means that if Comcast doesn't want AT&T to touch their lines or run anything through their lines to maintain connection, they can just tell them no. And that turns a massive grid into a much smaller one, which hurts service.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand where they're coming from.
So these ISPs were like, no, getting rid of Title II hurts competition. It does not benefit it.
It is... Everything I hear about this is it not being a good idea. Is this all fake news?
I don't know. I mean, because a lot of the things that are presented, the arguments that are being made, and this is the reasoning on Chairman Pai's side, is that he's saying everything you're presenting, every argument that you present of why we need to maintain Title II, why we need to have these rules that are in place from 2015 is purely based on hypotheticals. You say that if we remove it, that the monopolies of AT&T, Comcast, Time Warner Cable, etc. will do X, Y, and Z that will just completely undermine the entire economy for internet service providers. But you don't know that for certain. Just because there is the possibility, that is not necessarily what is going to be the result. All of these rules, all of these protections are put in place based on the hypothetical possibility of this happening. And that's the argument on that side, is that all of this is just conjecture. You don't know for certain. There is no use case. There is no pretense for any of this happening.
I mean, but you can make that argument for the other side, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, and it comes to, it breaks down to, do you want to try to prevent it, or do you want to open it up and then have to react to it?
Oh, man, this is fucking interesting. It is a sticky situation, and I would much rather just prevent it, but...
Well, and also, outside of the major ISP companies, Comcast, AT&T, etc., no one else really seems to be advocating for this, which sends up some pretty big red flags.
Yeah. All right, so this is how I feel about it, right? And I may be insensitive in this, but this is kind of like the Grenfell fire. Would you rather have prevented the fire by going through and making sure all of the buildings are up to up to fire code? Or would you just wait for that one fire to fucking burn and kill a lot of people before you go and change everything?
Unfortunately...
Are you going to wait for the bad before you change to the good? Well, why not have a preemptive strike? Because
the good costs money and time and takes effort, so people will not normally take action until bad has happened.
I feel like that's the stupidest thing, and it's holding fucking humanity back.
You're not wrong.
This is why we're not living on the moon yet.
You're not wrong. Don't worry. We'll just move on to another topic that's, not even a whole lot better, but whatever.
3.
Maine confirms its first case of measles in 20 years.
This was submitted by Fluoxetine to our news.
So they're currently blaming it on travel and not what a lot of people would want to point at. Measles is a vaccine-preventable disease that normally causes pneumonia, and then once that worsens, it leads to death. So if you get your vaccinations, measles should never occur. It has not occurred in Maine since 1997, exactly 20 years ago. They are saying it is related to travel, and that's all the information that they are bringing out. They're also trying to check everyone around the area where the measles case occurred to make sure that it doesn't spread, because it is highly contagious.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, because, I actually don't know much about measles.
Well, it's not been around for a while. So, I mean...
I guess, is this like modern-day bubonic plague?
I mean, if...
To a lesser extent.
If left completely unchecked, like if we didn't have vaccines, we didn't have medicine or treatment or anything like that, it could be. It could be a major outbreak, but it won't be. The concern is just to make sure no one else has caught it and get the case under control, and then, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So... Either way, it's concerning, though, because in recent times we've had several things that were like, it's eradicated from the earth because thanks to vaccines and modern medicine, we'll never see this disease again. And then it's like, but wait.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't feel... If everyone's vaccinated, is this even really... a main issue?
Well, and Zachary in the chat room asked that same question. If everyone around it is vaccinated, can it spread? No. And that's the idea behind herd immunity.
A main issue?
Sure. You terrible person.
It's a pun.
Terrible person. So that's the idea behind, if you've ever heard the term herd immunity, is that if enough of the herd is immune to something, then it can't spread and it's not a concern. So when...
Oh, I heard that.
It's a pun.
Why, Nathan? Why?
Why not, though?
I guess, sure. Yeah, so if enough people are immune to the disease or have protections against it, then it's not necessarily a concern. But that's why people were concerned about anti-vaxxers, because if enough people are not immune to it anymore, then it can cause an outbreak and a concern, and that leads to a lot of problems.
Not only that, but if it's actually being spread and everything, then it will start evolving to be able to work its way past that vaccine.
Right. So.
And that's not something we want, ever.
You're right, it's not. You know what else we don't want?
2.
Helicopter attacks Venezuelan court.
I don't... this is submitted by... I can't remember Old Past to Our World News. I read a bunch about this story earlier today.
Well, and here, so we've talked about it several times before. Venezuela is still in massive protest over they have a very large economic crisis. They are extremely short on food. They are extremely short on medicine, and that leads to a lot of very upset people. A lot of people currently blame their president, Mr. Maduro, and they believe that the Supreme Court is one of his main supporters that keeps him in office and keeps things in the current state of affairs. So a lot of people, there's been a lot of a protest out front of the Supreme Court building, and just outright, almost straight up attacks. Like these are not peaceful protests; these are straight up riots. Which, I mean, once somebody gets to a point where they can't buy food anymore, yeah, you're gonna start moving away from peaceful protests and making people just straight up angry. So we're not entirely certain where they got it, but it is listed as stolen. But we don't.
So the guy who did the thing posted on Instagram earlier talking about him doing it with a bunch of people who had masks on. He had no mask.
Right. It was a rogue policeman, Oscar Perez. Right.
So the helicopter that was stolen, he had also been he had worked with that helicopter unit for a long time. So it's not like he probably just went into the fucking yard, turned it on, and fucking left.
Yeah. Well,
but like this guy's fucking crazy. Not like crazy as in like holy shit, this guy's needs to be put down. Like crazy as in this guy's an action fucking star.
He's
got pictures on his Instagram of him diving underwater with fucking guns and shit.
He's got
him flying helicopters.
Yeah.
He's got him taking a compact and shooting a dummy behind him, looking through it.
He's like a Bond villain.
He was also...
He looks like a Bond villain. He
was a police officer, though. Like, I don't know... It's a very sticky situation because this guy, yes, he did bomb this place.
No, he looks like a Bond villain. I threw his picture up in the chat.
But he may not be a villain.
Well, it depends on how you define villains, right? I mean, because...
Well, it depends on how you feel about this scenario in Venezuela.
Because, like, I understand the issue they're having. I understand the concern, the want for change, and I understand why people are upset. 4 grenades were dropped on the Supreme Court building, and over 15 shots were recorded. I don't know if that's the right way to go about things.
How many people died?
It doesn't currently say.
0.
Okay.
0 people have died. 4 grenades were dropped. One of them was a dummy, right?
At the same time, though, like...
Yes, these are very explosive, dangerous things. Yes, he is doing something that is awful, but he dropped them on the top of the building. I guess they fired into the building, so that should count. But the thing is, though, is like this guy, he's just giving off this air of him being like this badass action hero. I would say he's pretty cool.
Right. Now, here's the thing.
Oh, missed it.
If a...
Get it?
No.
Pretty coup.
It's a pun.
Because he's staging a coup.
Yeah, I had to honey dick into that one.
Yeah, gross, dude. So here's the thing: if a Supreme Court justice was killed, what do you think the reaction to this would be?
Oh, fucking extremely negative.
Right, like.
But I mean, if you're doing shit like this, there's a very fine line between whether or not you're a hero or a villain. For instance, a lot of people view the Jedi as villains.
Sure. And I don't know, like, something needs to be done. Something needs to change in Venezuela, but I don't know if this is the right way to go about it. Like, it is getting to a point where you have to do more extreme things, but I don't know if dropping grenades and having a friggin' assault rifle shots into a building is the right way to go about it.
I feel like I feel like this is an interesting situation because a lot of change over in Venezuela and places like Venezuela where there's a tyrannical leader or theoretically a tyrannical leader, change doesn't occur unless lots of people die.
Right.
There's almost no way of peaceful protest in this scenario because they're just going to start ignoring people and the people are just going to continue to die.
Right.
However, there's been talks about this guy not even, this guy being hired by the president to do this. Because immediately as that, after that happened, the president launched an attack on his political rival, saying that his political rival had contacted this guy to do this, right? So there's this theory that the political rival has been put forth that the president contacted this guy to do this so that Maduro contacted this guy to do this so that Maduro can point fingers at the political rival so it's easier to, arrest him and have him kept forever.
Sure.
So, I mean, this entire situation is really sticky, and unless we actually find this guy and talk to him more, then, I mean, shit.
Well, and his whereabouts are currently unknown. Like, he flew off.
The helicopter fucking ditched in a river.
Yep. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting scenario.
We'll find out, I guess. I'm sure we'll hear something about it in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I want to hear more about it.
2 lost dogs in England return home after their owners cook sausages near where they went missing.
This is submitted by Sisyphus. Sisyphus had it so easy. It's our uplifting news.
Nothing quite like, a dog's stomach. So they had a pair of miniature schnauzers. They were on a hike and they lost the dogs. The dogs were gone. They had more than 120 people and 2 drones trying to find the dogs in the mountains. 96 hours of searching turned up uneventful. The family decided that they would have one last ditch effort, and that was cooking sausages at the spot where the dogs were last seen. And just a few short hours later, the dogs appeared.
Shit, this reminds me of that fucking movie Homeward Bound, except Homeward Bound would have been solved a lot easier if they could just cook sausage around the area that they ran away and the dogs come back.
I love that movie.
I have both of them, Homeward Bound 1 and 2, on VHS, and they're one of my most played VHSs because that is one of my favorite movies. That shit was awesome. In fact, if I ever get a dog, it's probably going to be named either Shadow or Chance.
That's fair. That's very fair. Anywho, I'm going to do mine first, sir.
Yeah.
Germany to vote on same-sex marriage.
Hey, they're fairly liberal. This probably gonna pass.
Yep. Angela Merkel decided that they needed to take a conscience.
I thought it was Angela Merkel.
And I don't know. I'm bad with names and I'm American, so
it's a Germanic name, so I mean.
Yeah, I know. You think that'd mean that I know how to say it since I'm German as crap, but yeah, I'm bad at this. Either way, she came out and that said that they needed to have a vote of conscience on the issue, and most of them are confident that they will push through marriage equality in Germany.
Angela Merkel.
The vote is going to be occurring this Friday.
That's exciting. That's what, 2 days, 3 days, 2 days?
2 days.
I want to see how this goes. I mean, let's be real. They're just gonna pass it.
By the sounds of things, yeah, it's like we need to take a vote on it. Is it legal or not? Most people are like, yeah, why not? I mean, it's fucking legal.
I mean, people are fucking doing it anyways. Why not?
Yeah, let's stop being ridiculous now.
Yeah.
So either way, they're going to vote on it on Friday. If we remember, because we might not, because that happens, we'll give you an update on it on Monday. Right now, we do not have a show on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If you would like to see us have a show on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/dailyinternet. Once we build up enough consistent funds through Patreon, we will begin to do extra shows throughout the week. So, Nathan. What did you care about in the last 24 hours, sir?
2 things. 1, a man in Australia has implanted... All right, so in Australia, they have bus cards, right? But
yeah.
They have chips on them, and you can reload your bus card with money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just boop the chip, and you walk through, right? Well, he cut the chip out and surgically had it implanted in his arm. And so he walks up now, boops his arm, and it registers.
That's cool.
However, you're not gonna believe his motherfucking legal name.
I'm listening.
Meow Ludo Disco Gamma Meow Meow.
Did he choose that name, or did his parent?
I'm 100% positive this guy fucking chose his name.
I hope so, because
No
otherwise,
one in their fucking right. Okay, maybe Frank Zappa. I guess I did said no one in their right mind. So I mean, there's a chance.
Sure, that's pretty
But
excellent.
apparently, this isn't the first time he's gotten an awkward implant like that.
What's the other awkward implant?
Huh?
What's the other awkward implant?
I don't know. The article doesn't
okay.
explain it.
Darn, unfortunate.
Oh, holy shit. There's another article in the sidebar. Woke was added to the Oxford English Dictionary. That's interesting.
All right. So,
anyways, the other thing that I cared about, though, was, do you like the Lazy Town memes?
yes.
Okay. So you like We Are Number One, right?
Yeah.
Well, Robbie Rotten, his actor, Stephen Carl Stephenson,
Yeah.
is in final stages of cancer.
Why you gotta bring me bad news?
I'm sorry, this isn't, as you asked what was important to me, this was important to me.
I know, but that makes me sad, because he was great.
It makes me incredibly sad, too. It's a rare and little researched form of cancer called cholangiocarcinoma, which is bile duct cancer. And not much research has been done for it. People have raised $140,000, but again, it's probably not going to help.
That's very unfortunate.
For instance, all right.
I looked up pictures of him, and like he's in the hospital bed, but God, like one, he doesn't like. Unlike a lot of cancer patients, this guy still looks really healthy, and two, he still looks full of life, which.
Well, that's just him. Have you seen him in any interviews or anything?
Yeah, he's super chipper.
He is Robbie Rotten, except not evil.
Like, that makes me really sad.
Yeah, no, he wrote on his Facebook page in Icelandic, because he is from Iceland.
Sure.
Love and humility are unusual and so helpful through it all. I'm moved and very grateful. And then he linked to a meme that says, the memers may die, but the memes live on.
Now I'm sad. All
So
right.
I really hope he beats this, but I can't guarantee anything.
You know what? Like, I hope he does too, and there is always the chance that he does. John Bain, you know, the cynical Brit, total biscuit, whatever you want to call him.
He's had cancer like 2 or 3 times?
Well, he recently, it was like a year and a half ago, was diagnosed with terminal cancer in his liver. He had a specific type of cancer that normally is something that you're just going to die from. These tumorous cysts were growing in his liver, and were just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then until he died. And there was... it was like they're huge. I'm sorry. You have maybe 3 years. And he's like, is there any way I can live longer? And they're like, okay, if you do some serious chemo, you might get 5 years. And he goes, I'll do it. He's like, anything that allows me to spend more time on this earth with my family and my loved ones, I am willing to do. They're like, it's going to be painful. It's going to suck. Your hair is going to fall out. All that stuff. He's like, I don't care. I want to live longer. And So he has been going onto chemo hard, and it was about I want to say like 4 months ago that he went in for another checkup, and his cancer was in remission to the point that they had switched from trying to preventative to full on curative, and he is expected now to get to live the rest of his life.
There's so I know you don't like Smite, but there was a Smite player. His name was his in-game name was Allied. He was professional. He was playing on a really great team. He was playing with Incon. Incon's really good half the time. The big thing though is he got cancer, and he kept going out. He's like, cancer was in remission, then it came back. It was in remission. He finally died in May. He was 25 years old, but like cancer is fucking awful, and I feel like more research should be done into all forms of cancer. But I mean, I'm the kind of guy that wants to fund hospitals and education. Fuck me, right?
Yep. I can't find it. Where is it?
It's just funny because, you know, I'm kind of afraid that we're going to overpopulate at some point, but whatever.
We'll be okay.
Soylent Grains are always there. Soylent Grain and suicide booths.
Where'd it go? We just got it like 2 days ago, but I can't find it anymore.
The button?
No. We got release date for Rick and Morty season 3.
Oh, it was like next month on the 26th or something.
Something like that. I'm trying to find it. Like, it might be easier just to go to my Facebook and find it. But that was an important thing that I wanted to reveal to people. Here it is. Let me mute this so that it doesn't make noise, and I'll just get...
29th of June.
July. Well, I have July... No, there's going to be a live stream on the 29th of June.
Okay.
Rick and Morty season premiere is Sunday, July 26th. So, little less than a month.
Yeah, no, that's fucking exciting as shit. Also, motherfucking also, we have, what, 19, 18 more days until Game of Thrones?
Oh.
I think it's 19.
I don't know, buddy. That's not something I'm keeping track of. But what I am keeping track of is how long this episode is, and we just passed an hour, so you ready to go?
July 16th.
So, 2.5
16,
weeks.
17, 18 more days, if you don't count today.
Cool. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, especially since I just got HBO Go because my friend was really drunk at my house and logged into his account.
Cool. Nice work.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that is it. If you would like to support us, once again, patreon.com/dailyinternet. Otherwise, I would ask you to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. Also, we have a YouTube channel where all of our videos go up after they are done being live streamed on Facebook. Go subscribe to us on YouTube if you'd like to help us out. Once we hit a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of views, we're able to start monetizing the videos, as well as we just get more view visibility in terms of when people do their searches. So that would be extremely helpful to us as well. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All of those are at iRedditCast. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm at Schwahn Michael. Nathan is at Bimmenstein. And of course,
like everything.
Yeah.
Except for Facebook.
Yeah, but whatever, it's Facebook. If you would like to send us a story that you would like us to talk about, or just, agree or disagree with us, or whatever you want to do, send us an email to our inbox, which is feedback.ireddit@gmail.com, or call and yell at us via a voicemail at 508-738-2278. That is it, everybody. That is our 313th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And please remember, everybody.
Don't! Oh. Get rid of it! I hate you. Just press the fucking button.
I missed it. I hit the button below it, and the button below it's empty. All right, have a good day, everybody.
Goodbye.